Uh, Create a new possibility for yourself to get out of the loop of your everyday thinking. So, to start living in a different, better way, better life today than yesterday, our thoughts, emotions, and actions have to change. This is very difficult to do because our body is hardwired for a certain way of functioning because of all the years of programming that we had before. So we accepted these patterns as who we are from our life to this point. So most of them stem from our childhood, our upbringing, and our emotional reactions and dependencies that were geared towards survival at that time, and not towards thriving and enjoying and having a good life, but survival. So if we want to start living a life we want, a better life, a happier, joyful life, we have to break these patterns. And when you were a kid, for example, you were 100% unconscious. Your emotions drove you. You were not able to make decisions with the help of your ration. Yes, you were trying to protect your freedom by throwing tantrums, but you didn't really have a choice and your emotions guided you completely. Whatever you felt, this is how you behave. But then we start growing up, we gain control, and we achieve a certain level of consciousness where we start deciding on our lives. And some experts still say that 95% of our decisions are unconscious, and these are the underlying deep rooted beliefs um, that guide our day-to-day living. But now, as adults, we have the options to take control of our day-to-day lives and prevent our 6, 7, 13-year-old self from the past that had certain um, experiences in their life that took things completely differently than how a present day grown up would take. And um, even if you got hurt at the age of 5, 8, 14, you learned something. You learned that you shouldn't behave that way, but you were a kid, and you behaved differently than you can behave now. And now you can just see that, for example, that people were just mean, and that doesn't mean that you have to protect yourself anymore, and still feel fear about doing something, about putting yourself out there, or something like that. So the day we choose to create new possibility of how we can live our lives for our future, we start expanding and increasing our level of consciousness, our level of choice. And we start creating our life instead of going through the unconscious notions from our past. And now uh, we are choosing that already to some degree, but probably the majority of the forces are still unconscious in us. um, so whatever we have as goals in our lives, we can probably find really good estimates of what influenced our values and desires that we have in our mind today. Either we want to, I don't know, live a family life, or uh, extremely extravagant, rich, and famous life. We can probably find something in the past that guided how our value system developed. And but now Now we can start creating the possibility of the life we want to live, and who who do we want to be, how do we want to live, and what do we want to experience. So, but we need to start being a bit specific. The next step requires us to increase the level of consciousness day by day, step by step, but we still need to be creating and imagining our possibility, the possibility we created for ourselves regularly, so that we energize ourselves and free us from the chains of our current thinking, our current mind, that keeps us like that. In the end, all we are in this life is it's just energy and consciousness, with a human body as a tool, and we can do our whatever we want with this body. We can let it sleep on. This is like, if you live unconsciously, you just go through the motions, or we can take it for a ride, uh, to a life how we want to, uh, consciously, so that we are not just sleeping behind the wheels, but are actually okay. I'm going there. I'm going there. I want to. I want to experience myself as this kind of person, as this kind of person, as a happy person, as a life of the party, um, as a famous person, as a rich person, as a successful, as a winner, as a party maker, party goer, whatever. But you can choose how you will experience life, if you start taking if you start becoming conscious. And hopefully you want to take this baby, this body of ours, for a ride. Okay, so how do we increase consciousness level every day so that we can become everything we want to be? The first thing here I would suggest that gives, I think, quite quick results is meditation, because meditation gives us the possibility to return to what matters, to return to what we want to focus on. It gives us the option to make a choice. In every single decision, we can make a choice what we focus our mind and our consciousness to. And whenever the monkey minds, the unfocused part of us, starts racing and we are stuck in our habitual pattern that don't serve us, the practice of meditation gives us the power to make a choice. In everyday life, meditation is just returning focus back to a point. It can be the breath, our breathing, sounds. It can be our any focal point, anything in our body, or anything. So practicing this skill gives us the power to notice what is happening in our mind and our body. Where are our thoughts? uh, what are our feelings? What are the sensations? And is our focus still where we want it? Meditation can be much more than just this, though. It can also be a medium to free ourselves, to gain freedom to be and to act. If we just start imagining the space around us, how infinitesimally small we are, how we are nothing more than just energy in this whole universe, and our consciousness has the power to manage the body and the mind, and we become liberated, because the whole world is suddenly at our doorstep, and we can just um, we can we can start guiding it however we want to. The second part of increasing consciousness is just by recognizing the habitual patterns and the stories we tell ourselves. So our body is used to reacting to stimuli in a certain way. For example, our mother or our grandmother asks us when we will get a girlfriend or get married, for example, and instantly uh, a cocktail of emotions overwhelms us and we overreact. Or for example, our friends or siblings make a claim and we start defending, we start being defensive, proving our right immediately. So we developed ways of handling ourselves in a certain way, to be able to survive our formative years, childhood, early adulthood. Um, and by interacting with our parents, caregivers, siblings, teachers, leaders, we learn to behave in a certain way to so that we could survive, but that we could survive and not thrive. And our parents reacted to our actions. So we did something and they reacted in a certain way. If they approved, we got a carrot. If they didn't, we got the stick. And mostly just emotional carrots and sticks, but it could be even physical. And this is how we learned everything in life. This is how we became who we think we are. You know, what is, we learn the good from the bad. We learn to separate it in this way, in their way, but that's definitely not necessarily true. And we learn how love works, how parenthood works by watching their relationships between themselves, with us. We were listening to their thoughts. We were feeling their emotions, and we internalized all of this. So we became the programs of all the beliefs, all the programming instilled in us when we were growing up, and this is all that we were, because we were unconscious. But now we have a choice. There is a whole world of possibilities for how we want to live, how we can live. And because we are exactly the same as the famous sports figures, musicians, movie stars, businessmen that have quote unquote amazing lives, and that have everything we think we want. It's only that they are operating for their whole lives from different beliefs. From childhood, they were getting different impulses and made different, believed different things and chose different actions that got them there. And in, I don't know, 20, 30, 40 years, this can make a huge impact on how, what we create in the this reality, in the 3D world. But we still have a chance to go, to get to where we want. So uh, if we start changing now, we will see changes very quickly, weeks, months, years. You don't need 30 years to see something changing for the better. But it all starts with a choice to make this change. And yeah, again, the desire to change has to become greater than the desire to remain the same. That's all from me for this video. See you in the next one.